3, 2, Episode number 1, season 3, Across the Ice Belt with Ice Team Television is a wrap. We headed north up to Tobin Lake in Saskatchewan. It was it's an adventure, no doubt. And you know, when Jason and I worked the St. Paul Sports Show, he said, "Hey, a good time to fish Tobin is early. You want to make it happen." And you know, we're just getting ice back home, and you know, the craze for ice fishing is for real. I mean, yeah. and we headed north. I brought the newest member of Ice Team. He got inducted into the official elite group Ice Team, Tony Mariotti. And Tony had, I mean,
it was a pretty epic trip. This was a trip to remember for sure. Started off day one, and we got on the ice early, and it was big fish and big fish and big fish
and bigger fish
and bigger fish. Yeah, it was hook sets and just a ton of fun with good friends and beautiful scenery. Everybody in town's wonderful. We had a blast.
Yeah, it's a real neat place. It's, you know, we fished Winnipeg before, and Winnipeg's a little bit different scenario than this. It's a big wide open. There's quite a bit more people around you most times, and up here we had our spot all to ourselves, and it was kind of nice, and we got to move around and fish all the little pockets and turns on that river channel that we wanted to, and it paid off being able to have the space to work our program, you know, get the right bait in front of the right fish. And Tony sure made it work. He came up with the pattern pretty quick there.
Yeah, I used that clam blade spoon, or the rattling blade spoon, and I don't know, day one, those big fish were on the chow. I had my 4 biggest walleyes ever through the ice, and they just kept getting bigger and bigger, and there was a lot of ribbing going on.
When we say big, I mean, Tony even said it, everything in Saskatchewan is big. But when we say big, I mean, we're talking, Jason and I were catching mid-20 inchers, 25, 26 inchers, and we're talking big. These are giant walleyes. Joe's sitting behind the camera smiling. I think he might show you maybe a couple of the lifts.
Oh my gosh, look at those head shakes. Look at those head shakes. Giant! Yes, that is a giant.
That is a fish.
Beautiful fish, Tony.
That's why we traveled up here. That's where we made the trip.
Yeah.
No.
I'm coming. Oh,
it's on the bottom of the ice.
Okay, take it easy. You're fine. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. You ready? You ready? Tobin Lake. Tobin Lake. Yeah! Unbelievable. Giant. That is a 12, maybe 15 pounder.
That might be a 15 pounder.
That's a lifetime day. Right?
It's a lifetime
No matter where you go for walleye in the world, that day that we had there, this whole trip, we caught some fish of a lifetime, and to put that many together in a short amount of time, in a very small area,
well,
that was awesome.
There's 2 things that I want to touch on real quick. Is the zone that we talk about. Everybody asks, like, how are you going to figure out the bite? Drill a lot of holes, and if we weren't in that 15, maybe 15 and a half to 19 feet, we weren't catching them. If you were deeper than 19, and if you were shot, we weren't catching them. We had to be right in that zone.
And I think one of you guys mentioned it the other day. I think it really is the amount of current they were putting out of the dam.
Yeah, they're swimming in streams.
Caused that current to go just in a certain point, because you could really see it. There was just a couple holes.
Yeah.
If you were 15 feet this way or 15 feet that way, it wasn't the spot. But that seam, you know, that Mr. Mariotti found, it was pretty darn good, and it was really interesting. I'm used to fishing big areas, right, where you can call fish and move them to you.
It's just small moves.
It really was. It was the spot on the spot.
I had that fish, that one hole where it was 4 drops, 4 fish. I had a 26 incher that I had just let go, and I literally dropped my spoon down. We're talking, and I caught what appeared to be the same fish. It was just crazy. And then these guys are sitting 5 feet away and nothing. And then we'd find another one where they were just relating to how the current was flowing, and it was cool.
It went up and down as the day went on. You could sort of see your line kick out a little bit, and you'd have to move the flasher sometimes just to pick up your bait all the time. But it was really interesting to really dial that in. You know, if fishing by myself, I'm either on the spot or not.
Yeah.
You fish with a couple more guys out here,
Yep.
you know, and you start to see, okay, that's better than this, and then well, that's what we do. We got to ask why.
Right.
Why is that?
Why is it better
than?
And it has to be that current seam right where we were.
Yeah, because there's no 10 feet of structure is not any different.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same river channel type. So.
And then the last thing I want to touch on is we actually decided to come up a day earlier than we wanted to, and when we left home, it was 29 below zero on the truck was the coldest. And we got up here, it actually warmed up, and then it got cold again, and we woke up, it was cold. I mean, with the windshield, it was probably 30 below, you know, and for Joe with the cameras, I mean, our goal with the Cross the Ice Belt is to educate and talk about the products that we use and why we use them, but also to entertain and show big fish and to motivate. We really want to motivate people to get out and go fishing, and people are pumped up. 28,000 people at the St. Paul Sports Show and a bunch at the Milwaukee, you know, Ice Show. It's unbelievable. And my point is, talking about the weather, is we could have made every excuse not to go out, but with the right clothing, with the right shelters, and the right equipment, you can go out in that cold weather if you're smart about it, and with the Mr. heaters. And we still fished outside a lot, but we would go in the shacks and warm up, and we caught several fish out of you caught 2 of your biggest fish out of the shack.
Out of the shack while warming up.
Yeah. Yep. So,
but it took being able to be out in the elements on that cold day with that good gear to find the spot on the spot. And then Tony said, well, not, you know, enough with this. I'm catching all my fish out of this hole. We'll pull the shack over.
Yep, exactly. Yep. So, well, that's we sure appreciate you watching. We are going to be doing Facebook Live, so make sure to like Ice Team on Facebook if you're watching this, and also give us a subscribe on the Ice Team YouTube channel. And Tobin Lake Walleyes, I can't think of a better way to kick off the season. I mean, our Winnipeg piece was good.
Yeah, this is pretty special.
I've been on some really special shoots last year, but we keep on saying, how are we going to top it?
we topped it.
And our motto for the show, one last thing, was, if you want to learn how to fly, you have to
jump.
You have to jump. So if you're watching this and you're thinking about planning a trip, jump, because you never know what might happen. 4 10-pounders in one day, it might happen. Cross the Ice Belt TV. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Oh, that was a toad.